the whole relevancy of metal guitar content in
Right.
its, in its current state.
What did you take from that whole video, Josh? Because you were the first one to mention it about the whole Bradley Hall thing, and just like because you were telling me about it this morning before I went off to work.
I was going to say, I watched the video out of curiosity because, to be honest, like, I used to watch a lot of the guitar YouTube guys, a lot of the guys that you've mentioned, like when I was around, my late teens, in that sort of late 2010s, and they kind of inspired me to make my own channel. I wanted my channel to kind of be not exactly the same as them, but I wanted to do guitar content like them, and obviously talk more wider around rock and metal music as well. Over the last couple of years, I've definitely been like dropping out of all of those channels that I used to watch, mainly for that reason, because the content just got bland and I felt uninspired by what they were putting out. And so in a way I could understand why people now are starting to say that like YouTube guitarists is dead. The concept of it is dead because no one's really doing it. And I even thought this, just this morning thinking about it, I can't even remember the last time I saw like a guitar video on YouTube that came up on my algorithm. I actually cannot remember the last time, because it's mostly just other things, other music related stuff, like someone reacting to a song, or breaking down a song, or talking about a band or whatever, like not like the old guitar style content. It's just not, doesn't happen anymore. I felt it was quite apt as well with when I watched that video, was actually the day that I was gonna film a guitar cover for myself for YouTube. And I don't know whether it got into my head or what, but I just could not do this cover. And I thought, you know what, I'm done. And yeah, there you go. I'm not gonna do covers on my channel anymore, because not because of that, but it just kind of made me think, you know what, it's not worth the effort. I think the whole guitar YouTube thing is quite saturated, but also it's like, I don't know, I just feel like YouTube has kind of moved on from them people now. Hi guys, hope you're doing good, and today I'm going to be talking about something that has been very prevalent in the metal and guitar YouTube space over the last couple of weeks, maybe even a few months at this point. The whole concept of it being dead. And yeah, this has been a massive talking point. We even did a live stream a couple of weeks ago talking about this. There's been so many videos online, including like Jared Dines and Bradley Hall and Become the Night, all talking about this. And basically in this video I just wanted to kind of touch on it a little bit more and go a bit more in depth about how it impacts me and my channel, essentially. So I've got lots of things written down here on my phone that I really want to just get off my chest and talk about in this video more in depth than I did on the live stream, if you watch that live stream. So yeah, without any further ado, let's just get straight into it. So just to begin, I thought it'd be a good idea to just talk about metal and guitar YouTube as a whole, and what's kind of been going on over the last couple of months, if no one is aware of what has been going on. And basically, I remember as a late teen watching people such as Jared Dines and Stevie T and Music Is Win and all them kind of people, and at that point it was at its peak of its popularity innovation and all sorts of stuff like that. But over the last couple of years or so, it's become incredibly bland and a massively saturated market. That's probably down to COVID, to be fair. Loads of people jumping on and doing videos and, you know, trying to one up each other and trying to, you know, have the next big hit and big hit on YouTube. Reusing all the same ideas, and now it seems to have hit like a massive like breaking point and has come massively down on the downhill now, and we've got people starting to get burnt out and quitting YouTube completely, like Nick Nocturnal and Finn McKenty guy, who actually turned out to be a faker, and other people as well have been starting to do less and less content, and I think that's mainly down to just like there's no innovation. Like a lot of these YouTube people now, like I used to watch, and they used to be really inspiring with their videos. They just resort to like reaction videos because they're the ones that gets the views, or not even just reaction videos. They just do stuff that wasn't, you know, stuff that wasn't really what their channel was about, and kind of just stuck in that rut of just having to do these videos all the time. And you know, I think that you know, a lot of things have already been done, and it's like you can't reinvent the wheel. You only can go so far until there's, you know, there's literally nothing more you can extract, you know. And I think that's just hard for people to just stay relevant and keep doing that over and over again. And what I would say on that is it's even harder for new people to come and break into that market. So then, what does that mean for little old me over here? Well, as I said on the stream, or I briefly said on the stream, like watching some of these videos come out about metal guitar YouTube is dead and all that, and then looking at my own channel and seeing where my own channel is, I was thinking like, why am I trying to break into that market? Why am I still continuing to try and break into that when in the grand scheme of things my channel is, you know, I haven't got thousands of subscribers, you know. I've got like 460 subscribers, and it's taken me a hell of a long time to get to that. And basically what happened was that I was filming a cover. I was going to do a Sepultura cover, because I was going to do like a Sepultura series where I was going to do a couple of covers from their classic era albums. I did one for Chaos AD. I did Refuse Resist. No, I didn't. I did Slave New World, and I did Dead Embryonic Cells for Arise, and then I was going to do one for Beneath the Remains, one for Schizophrenia, and one for Morbid Visions. However, when I was doing this cover and it just was not going how I planned, it just wasn't, you know, it wasn't sounding good. I was thinking, you know, every take I did, it just sounded really bad. And maybe it was something that just got caught in the back of my mind, thinking about the whole, like, you know, YouTube guitar people and how much of a decline it's on and how saturated the market is and all that. Made me think, you know what, maybe I don't need all this stress and shit going on in my head to just try and do a video that might scrape like 60-70 views and get a couple of comments, and you know, when there's like a million other covers of the same song that I was going to do, and I'm thinking, you know what, I'm not going to do it. So basically now I've decided that all covers that I used to do, guitar solos and stuff like that. I'm not going to do that kind of content anymore. And the reason I've kind of gone over it already, but it's just the stress and anxiety it used to cause me was, at times it was just too much, and at times it made me feel like that I wanted to not do videos. And sometimes over the winter I would take a break because I'd kind of gotten my head all messed up about it. And that's true, and I think part of that is the pressure of having to do these guitar covers and stuff like that to try and get my musician self out there. And the standard of musicianship that everyone has set over the years, it's so high, the expectation is so big that I just feel like that it creates so much pressure for me personally, and I don't want that. I'm in a space in my life at the minute where I'm feeling a lot more zen and a lot more sort of controlled about myself, and I look at something like that and think that's caused me so much shit for years. At this point, it's not worth it. It's not worth it for me. And that's pretty much where I stand on that. And the fact that my channel is so small anyway, it's like, what's the point? And I don't want to make that sound like I'm being a bit of an arrogant twat by being like, oh, my channel's not big enough, I'm quitting. But that's not what it's about for me. When I started, I looked up to those people that I mentioned before, Stevie T and those kind of guys. I wanted to be like that. I wanted to do that and, see how far I could take the channel, and doing those guitar videos and, just doing like general like metal music chats and stuff like that. That was what I really wanted to do. At the time, because I didn't have anything else going on in my life at the time. I thought, let's just do it. I've got a free hit. Let's give it a go. But over the years, as my channel has not really grown that much, I kind of just changed my perspective on it, and now I just enjoy doing videos as and when, doing videos what I want to do, when I want to do it, and I'm happy doing that. I'm happier doing that, and I'm really happy with the community that I've got on my channel, mostly the people from the vinyl community that always comment and watch my stuff, and I'm always really grateful to them people who do watch and support everything that I do. That's just always awesome to me. That's basically where I'm at currently with the thought of my channel and what I want to carry on doing and what I don't want to do anymore. However, I still would like this channel to still be part of the vinyl community, of course, and doing all that stuff. And also, I still really want to try and promote my own music. I might be not doing covers anymore, but I still want to do some live streams playing some of my own stuff. I want to release my own music. I'm still planning on doing my second solo project, hopefully making a start on that sometime this year, and I'd really love to get that out for next year. And I've got my new band as well, and we're progressing nicely at the minute, and I'm still hoping that will be something that I think people will really get on board with once we've got all the cogs in place to make a really, really good project, really good band, and just see where that can go. And I'm super confident that we can do that, because I think I've got some really good musicians in the band, and I've got some really good ideas that I think can you know, can do, you know, really good, I think. So that's really where I'm at with that. So yeah, I'll still play guitar, do my own stuff, and doing playthroughs and things like that, but not covers and stuff anymore. And yeah, that's pretty much all what I wanted to say in this part of the video. I'll leave links in the description so you can watch the videos that I've watched on this, especially Become the Night. His video really inspired me, because he did like a whole autopsy on this whole situation and whether there's a light at the end of the tunnel for it, which he actually didn't think there was. So yeah, I'll leave that all in the description, and I will leave a link if you want to watch the live stream that me and Trev and Ryan did a few weeks ago. We talked about all sorts of guitar stuff, like guitarists, guitar tone, this as well. And I will leave, actually, at the end of this video, I will leave a clip of the discussion that Trevor and Ryan had about this. So, hope you enjoy that. Keep it metal.
Actually, I think Josh and I watched the same video where it was Brad Hall kind of talking about it.
I did too this morning.
Yeah, and he's 100% correct. Where back in like the, you know, kind of late 2010s, almost into the early 2020s, like during COVID and everything, it just seems like everybody was just popping off. They were doing what they wanted to do. You had all kinds of crazy stuff. You had like the Cole Rowlands and the, you know, like even I would say like to an extent Brad Hall, quite a few other people like that were just like churning out this insane crazy content, like Samurai Guitarist, another guy. He's not metal by any stretch, but Rob Scallon, like, you know, all these guys were just
Jared
having
Dines.
Yep, definitely the older Jared Dines material for sure. But yeah, it just seems like they would always have some sort of a creative thing to be doing. And you know, whenever you went into your subscription list, it was always like, well, what did they put up this week? And there was a lot more relevancy in the space, and that was when you started seeing a lot of those guys getting like, you know, endorsement deals and a lot more like sponsored content. And now it just seems like if you've got a music channel, you can get a fucking, you know, endorsement deal or a spot thing or whatever. And I feel like it's just become part of the reason that it's in the current state of it that it's at is it's just oversaturated.
Oh, it's extremely oversaturated.
Like, it's such a hard market to break into now that you're constantly having to find ways to constantly one up yourself or one up what everybody else is doing while still like catering to the algorithm. And that's why you see guys like Nick Nocturnal who like are like, dude, I've been doing this for 10 years. I'm fucking done. See you later, folks.
Yeah, let me go figure out my head and what I want to do with the rest of my life besides this thing. But but like Ryan, you and I had to have this conversation that like he just went all cringy by doing all these fucking reaction things, and even Brad mentioned that in his video. It's like, like, why are you guys doing reaction videos? Just stick to what you guys know. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't fucking, to me, it doesn't make any sense to sit there and just start doing all these reactions. Oh, fucking so-and-so. Like, I think part of the reason why I stopped watching Nick Nocturnal shit was he was literally just going so hard on this metalcore thing and deathcore thing. It's like, you know, there's other bits of stuff out there than just that, right?
Yeah.
And I think, although there's a few jokes in some of the comments on that video, like, hey, maybe the fucking Sleep Token review went too hard, and then some of the comments, you know, kind of nailed him to the fucking post about it, and he's just like, oh, well, I guess everybody can't handle Sleep Token, so I'm out on that one.
Yeah, it's crazy though. Just like, and there's a lot. I find there's a lot of players in that in that whole sphere. Like, even that, like, you look at them, and it's like, I think the only reason they're getting the recognition or, you know, time of day that they're getting is because they've got such insane content followings. I don't think there's a lot of necessary actual talent there in some cases. I mean, like Rob Scallon, yeah, dude's talented beyond belief. He plays more instruments than I can shake a stick at.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jared Dines, like simplistic, like I would say he's more comedian than musician myself. Not to discount his, musical wizardry, but I find with him, I think it's more like he's more recognized for the comedy side of things, almost like Stevie T was, where he was doing more musical comedy, but now, like you say, he's just stuck in that kind of cringy, like, I'm just going to react to this and do really stupid shit to make views. Like, I remember when Steve started, like, I was kind of in that original batch of, like, people that were following him, because I started seeing his, like, parody music content of, I'm wearing it under the sweater here, but like he did like a Black Veil Bride's parody song, and he was just like taking everything, he was taking the piss out of the band super hard. And like, it was all these like parody things. Like the song was actually called White Veil Grooms, which I thought was hilarious.
Oh, God.
But like, he's just like everything about that band that was like popular at the time, he was like satirizing the fuck out of it. But the music that he put behind it was in the style of the band, so it was accurate. And then it was just really funny because that's like he was hitting it really on the nose. So like I liked when he was doing that more music content, or even later on, like during the pandemic, he started doing like how to be like insert band here, right? And it was like he did like one for Green Day where it was just like, and he made this whole parody song out of it, and it was great. Or like how to be Ed Sheeran, and he like, it's like all this stupid shit. But I'm like, this is funny and I like it. But now that he's literally just like, I'm just gonna react to this stupid commercial that's got music in it. Now fuck off, get out of here.
I think probably a lot of the guitar YouTubers too is that I think they're all starting to get, like as Brad said, they're all starting to get really burned out. And you're starting to notice that a lot of the content is not exactly being as up forth, and unless you're Danny Sapko, for Christ's sake, who's in the middle of, I think he's from Yorkshire, I think. Josh, I don't know, you probably don't follow him on YouTube, but he's actually pretty funny. He's a short little English dude who talks about the bass.
Everybody needs to pay the bass.
And he does short form. He does a lot of shorts, but he does do long form videos. But he's been the guy that called out this whole Giacomo Tura guy.
Oh, that
who's been
fucker.
all over Instagram stealing other guys' lines and playing it very badly.
Mm-hmm.
That's been a whole other thing.
Yeah. My favorite thing about that was that Rick Beato had him on his channel.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Rick made the comment he was not good enough to be on my channel. So
yeah,
I'm like,
so what does that tell you?
Yeah, what's that tell you? Rick's like, don't get me wrong, I like Rick, but he's his own thing. Zach hit the nail on the head. Even as content consumers, like, yeah, it's just because it's just the same recycled shit all the time.
Yeah.
Like you can, like, I don't care if somebody's a great player. You can, when you click on a video, you know what you're going to get.
Yep.
And it's almost like, why waste the 7, 8 minutes, 10 minutes plus of my time to watch this? Yeah. I mean, I'm going to kind of date myself a little bit here, but I remember like one of the first like original like guitar content like YouTube things was back in like the early like 2000s. They had that whole Canon Rock thing where somebody took Pachelbel's Canon in D and they like turned it into this really upbeat like kind of pop metal kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually learned that arrangement. I remember learning for my music class in high school that we had to do a final performance.
Mm-hmm.
So that was what I did. I downloaded the backing track and I was just like, all right, time to learn this shit. And that, I mean, that's taking neoclassical metal to a whole new level, but I remember that and like thinking like, oh, that's cool that somebody can like make videos like for guitar stuff, and then to see it kind of evolve through all of its different phases. I remember when like just the cover guys were popular. I remember when like the gear review stuff started becoming more prevalent, like when Ola Englund started doing like the amp demos and that kind of shit. And then like all of these different like pickup shootouts and like amp shootouts and like all this other stuff. I remember when it's cool to have seen like the trajectory and where it's gone. And now I think like, yeah, like you say, it's because there's not a whole lot of room for originality by building it off of somebody else's algorithm.
Yeah.
So so I kind of understand where you're coming from, Josh, where it's like, why am I going to put all this time and effort into learning somebody else's song to upload a video that I'm not going to make any money on, that is really just going to get lost in a sea of other 18 billion fucking videos that, like, oh, I might get one new subscriber every 6 months.
Exactly. Exactly.
And it's, unless you've got some magnetic personality to pull into that's like, okay, I can sit here and talk to a camera for 45 minutes and have you hanging on my every word, like 5 Watt World, for example, with his like little history content stuff on like guitar brands and amp brand. Like that stuff, like, see, that's where I think that everything's going now, is it's more into long form documentary style content as opposed to the instant gratification of, here's a 4-minute cover that took me 6 weeks to learn.
Yeah, and it's quite fucking insane that so many guys are just going absolutely bananas with trying to make sure they get content out. And I know guys like that. I've got like there's guys that I talk to all the time. They're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna put out a video. It's like, why? Don't oversaturate the market. Just like right-handed guitars, haha. Anyways, but it's because even Glenn Fricker mentioned it today on his video that I was watching earlier. Like, he's dealing with enough shit with his wife Julie being out when she had that stroke a couple of months ago. Hunter Aggie Fish, he's like, oh, I'm gonna get on a regularly scheduled program. Yeah, right. It's like, brother, we know you just had a friggin' kid and all that jazz. Just the one big thing is, and sort of on top of that, I guess, is when new guitars get released or new amps or new whatever, every fucking YouTuber that I'm subscribed to, bang, 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 a fucking review. I'm like, okay, how did you guys get these? How did you guys get all these products? Like, before, it's like did the companies like message you like months ago and say, hey, this is coming out, this is what it's all about, we're just going to send it, and then and everybody goes, oh, we just heard about this like yesterday, and then 15 to 20 different guys are on YouTube with a review of the new Kiesel Kyber. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
fucking, what bother? And I don't know if it's a Kiesel saying, hey, you guys need to drop this now.
That's what it is usually.
It's like,
there's a couple of videos that I've seen. It was like in a Q&A. I think it might have been with Rabia.
yeah.
And he said about that, because like he does a lot of that gear content or like, plug-in content or whatever it is. And he said a lot of it is, the reason you see that giant saturation is because it's in the contract that you get from the company, that this is the day we're launching the product. This is the day your video needs to go live. And so that's why like guys like Ola are now saying like, I want to review this, but I will pay for it out of my own pocket so I can review it whenever the fuck I want. So that you're not getting like, it's not going to get lost in that slew of 18 billion fucking uploads.
Yeah.